Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this stream of Crusader Kings II. It has been a while since we last played this, so I'm going to need a little bit of time just to work out what on earth was going on again. Because there have just been so many new great games being released recently. Also, apologies to you watching the stream at the moment. Slight delay there. The EU4 series with Madagascar got claimed by one of Miracle of Sound's former publishers, and I've been working with him to get it uncopyright claimed, because he was like, I didn't ask them to do this, and they have no right to do this anymore. So, yeah, fun times, but I needed to send off a few emails and some screenshots with evidence to prove that they were indeed copyright claiming my stuff. Oh, the joy of being on YouTube. Although, the joys of being YouTube, I hit 10,000 subscribers. Anyway, what is going on here? A very brief recap. We started out as the Count of Gelderland over here in Gelre, and we formed eventually the Kingdom of Frisia, and once we'd done that and I kind of felt like we were in a stable enough position, we then switched dynasty. And in the meantime, the Kingdom of Frisia created the Empire of Britannia and has taken over all of this. So we pretty solidly started them off for actually really quite a powerful nation from that point. I'm actually kind of curious to see who the kingdoms are. Oh, those are de jure. Where's direct vassals? There we go. Oh, they don't actually have the kingdoms. It's just a bunch of dukes under the emperor. That's very surprised. Is that right? That doesn't feel right. Unless... no. Where are Britannia's kingdoms? You need kingdoms to form an empire. You don't have any. No, there are no kingdoms under the Empire of Britannia. Interesting. I was just kind of wondering how that would fragment if they lost the empire thing, if there was going to be like an England, Scotland, but no, apparently not. What else did we do at that point? We had also reformed the Norse faith. The Germanic faith has been reformed and is looking pretty strong. They've claimed most of Scandinavia. They're starting to encroach on the Suomenusko territories. They're heading south, wiping out Christianity as they go, and slowly taking over Great Britain. So it is still very much a divided religion, or a divided empire, I should really say. And you will notice there's a hell of a lot of orthodoxy. That's because the rulers of Britannia were orthodox for a while. This is again AI period, but they have since seen the true faith and returned to Norse. Over here we have Hispania, which is also Norse. Huh. Wow, okay, Hispania has apparently gone Germanic and is in fact converting to Germanic. Crikey. So Hispania will remember when we were playing as Frisia, Navarra were our biggest rivals. Or Asturias, it was Asturias. And we had several really big wars against them, and well, apparently the Norse have continued that tradition and have actually invaded successfully and taken over Hispania. So we're going to see a Norse Spain, which if we do convert this to E4 is going to have some very interesting ramifications, because North Spain will almost certainly go colonial, which means we'll see massive Norse colonies. They've also started to spread into Africa. In Africa itself we have Kanem Bornu, absolutely rising supreme. Ghana still slightly holding out, but the struggle there, I think there were 4 kingdoms down here, and Kanem Bornu obviously came out on top, Ghana being one of them. Africa here in the north is starting to take shape, and then Nubia is holding their own over there. We've got a rather large ascendant Yemen, who've taken over the Somali and Ethiopian territories, and then Arabia. There are actually quite a few empires rising, because Arabia I'm pretty sure is an empire level title, I think. Khanate. No, Khanate's not an empire. And Yemen is a kingdom. Right, yeah, they're Miaphysite, which is the only Christian faith that's actually doing decently. They're actually pretty solid. and have been proving to be surprisingly resilient. Like, Islam is basically gone. There's a little bit of a body up here, but there have definitely been some problems for the established faiths with heresies, which is something I do kind of hope that they tone down a bit, because it is kind of crazy just how badly they're being torn apart by them. Something going on with the moral authority. And then over here in India we have Nagajan, who have been dominant there for quite a long time, certainly during the time that we were playing as Tokakid. More about them in a minute. There were two very large kingdoms in India, both of them established by starting bloodlines. There are basically four conquerors, great conquerors as they're called, who can form a nation pretty quickly. They have special CVs and really high stats. And there just happened to be two of them in India. But Nagajan came out on top, and because of that, they've had a remarkably centralized state, and they are predominantly Jainist at this point. And then, heading north, we have Tokakid, who was the other nation that I'd been playing as. So after we finished with Frisia, we moved over to Sutai, who almost immediately fragmented. We split out, got independence, and then that's where the Tokakids came out. And it was very much touch and go for quite a long time until we managed to move south and take over the territories down here, which is extremely wealthy because of the trade routes coming through. We basically... was it Dunhuang? Yeah, it was Dunhuang that we took over. We made it our capital and we built it up massively, building up the trade post here and everything as well. And it made us a lot of money, and then with all that money we were able to hire some really, really kick-ass armies. And then from that point it was just a snowball. The really interesting ending of that, though, is you will notice that Tengrikut Saberbane is still in charge, and this was actually my character. We switched away almost as soon as I hit that reformed button, because I wanted to move to Suomenusko before anything bad happened. And Saberbane's immortal. And he's the Tengrikut, which means he is the head of the Tengri faith, because he reformed it, because he was immortal. I was like, well, I'm going to become the God Emperor. So, yeah, we have the immortal Saberbane, the wolf. So, yeah, he's a werewolf too. Yeah, I should mention that. And he's possessed. Where's the... there it is, immortal trait. And he's 72 and still going strong. 118 personal combat. Like, he can't be killed in battle because he is the leader of the Eagle Warriors. And that's another point. If any other character in the future decides to join the Eagle Warriors, they're not going to be able to become the leader, because Saberbane's just going to be the immortal leader of the Eagle Warriors. The other thing is he can't be killed in battle because of that. He won't die of old age because he's basically immune to that, which means the only way he can die is in a duel or poisoning. And from what I remember, I mean, his intrigue is not terrible, and he had some pretty good spy masters protecting his back. And then dueling, which, yeah, that's not going to happen. So Saberbane is kind of scary. And Saberbane is our almost neighbour. We are here in Novgorod. We have bigger problems with the Norse at the moment because they really are very close. They are on the border. But we do have a unified state. It is not the most stable of unified states, and we still need to do quite a lot in order to reform it. We currently own just one holy site. And if we go back to the religions and make sure we have one of our own nations, no, one of our own provinces selected, we can see what it is that we need to take. Is this Suomenusko? This is. So we need to take that off of Finland. We already control... no, sorry, the Faith controls Novgorod, but we do not. Despite being called Novgorod, we don't actually have Novgorod. So that's two of the three that we'll require, and we'll probably go for Ozil because it's pretty close. I think that Ryazan is the other one, so that's 4. Where's the 5th? That's that one. That's that one. That's that one. Oh, it was over here, not here. Okay. That's Novgorod. Oh, Perm. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Although, it's actually owned by Ital, not Tokakid, but it's in kind of a dangerous position. So we will have to take Novgorod, we'll have to take Finland, and then probably Ozil. Maybe the one that was down here, I forget where. Oh, is that the one we own? That's the one we own. Okay, so we do have one. So we just need to take this one and Novgorod, and then there's our 3. And we can reform. And then maybe Suomenusko can survive, because we're going to go super defensive with their bonuses. Because they're going to need it. They're beside 2 extremely aggressive religions, so they'll kind of need to entrench hardcore. And Suomenusko is set up to do that. They are one of the defensive religions anyway, so they should have access to one of the unique abilities which makes them more defensive than it would otherwise be possible to be. Right, let's sort out my tea supplies, then we can get on with this. And if there's anything else you want me to take a look at, then please do tell me. Like I said, it's been about 2 weeks since I last played this, so there's going to be a bit of relearning going on here. Is there any way the Emperor of Britannia could have destroyed the kingdom titles? How long has the game been running? This game's been running for 200 years. No, nearly 300. That little frickin' fly again. Thought you'd be dead by now. Hey, Crystal Leon. Huzzah! Huzzah indeed. Huzzah, huzzah, huzzah. Was Ion? Ion? How do you pronounce that? Always wanted to play a Novgorod game and transfer it to E4. I hate you, Muscovy. Yeah, that would be like the only way of surviving as Novgorod. And now that republics are actually decent, Novgorod with Ivan's 100 would be really, really good choice. Although you're still stuck with a Vesh Republic, which means you're limited in size. But now that you can actually convert territories again, it's feasible. You would just have a very territorial nation. Or else split it into client states. That would be another way of doing it. Or just transfer away from being a Vesh Republic. But then you lose out on the Russia mechanics. That huge Finland looks great. That huge Finland is a big frickin' problem. Because they are Germanic. And they're kind of hard to kill. Although we did just win a war against them, I believe. Or at least we fought it to... nothing happening. Alright, so they've got Vizimar, they've got Ruthenia. How's my army looking? Kind of poorly. Yeah. Although we do have a retinue. That's a point. How is the retinue looking? We are currently over strength. We have an awful lot of light cavalry and light infantry, so it's not the best retinue ever. And we could get Baltic warriors, which are the opposite to the Huskarls. They are lots of morale and lots of defense, as opposed to lots of morale damage and lots of offense. Also, I don't know that we are necessarily wealthy enough to do that. We probably... Oh, we're tribal. We probably need to... Actually, we could we go feudal? No. Right, I need to get my tribal organization up. Which is done here. And I would also very much like to revoke titles. But I think getting the tribal organization up is going to be a big deal. There is no vote on this, I believe. Doesn't look like it. And 3 versus 2 to go to medium. Which is positive in our favour. And now we can get an advisor. Here we go. And we can make our advisor the High Chief of Vasugian, I think. That's 3 against 3-4, and I'm the tiebreaker. I'm okay with this. Alright, and which is the capital? Tartu is right now. Right, I have some random territories down there. But once I've taken over Novgorod, then I can shift my capital back to Novgorod and we can start actually taking over this territory for myself. However, we do have a terrible succession law, which I cannot do anything about because we're a tribal. I have a new heir. Heirs are switching around constantly. Okay, so somebody's defensive pact is collapsing. I'm having dinner and plenty of drinks with Nuyukasha tonight. It's lovely, yet I am most charmed by Nuyukasha himself. Why else would I not immediately stop our conversation, which has slowly begun to touch upon the more heretical ideas, questioning the salvation of Ukko? I am not going to talk about that, thank you very much. I am on a mission. So Novgorod is Suomenusko because of Shattered World was formed by Finn. Early on, much of Russia is Suomenusko. The Slavs are further south. So Finland certainly is, but they've been slowly converted to Germanic. But much of this, in fact I think actually Suomenusko usually moves over to here. But Tengri is encroaching because Tengri is reformed. So they have a much easier time converting than we do. I can create titles. No, I'm fine, thanks. How old am I? 38. Okay. Can I have an heir? Yes. So, how can I go after you? You are not independent. You are owned by Ruthenia, who is small and in trouble. Cannot declare war if I've raised any levies. Well, we can send those home. Hopefully they're in a safe spot. Does your claim on Novgorod? I would lose 500 prestige for doing this. Can't do it, I don't have the prestige regardless. I could do a conquest, which I can do. And I also have just a de jure claim on Novgorod, an actual de jure claim as opposed to a fake de jure claim. Oh, that's for the entire duchy. No, it's just one county, so we can go for the county, and this is a much cheaper war. And the council says yes. Alright, so what shape is Ruthenia in right now? They have a pitiful army. They don't seem to have any retinues, and they are already half occupied by a peasant revolt. Well, this seems to be an excellent opportunity to go after you for Novgorod in that case. And I could call in allies. Yeah, see, most of them would say no. I wish there was a button you could press to call in only those who would accept. So anyone green, that would be really helpful. I think the God Khan can't form the Mongol Empire, otherwise his armies would get a huge morale buff till he died, and since he can't die... Oh crikey, yeah, immortal Genghis Khan, basically. Holding down control calls all of them, so what happens if I just left click that? Oh. So control is calling all allies, not just my vassals. I don't know if there's any penalty for them saying no. I may have just screwed myself. And there's the medium level. Let me just double check these guys. Is there a penalty for you not joining? Does not look like it, no. Okay, good. That is actually the other thing I need to be aware of, is there are some rather large factions forming. I do have enough of a kitty to raise mercenaries if I need to. Right, let's go to military page, allies in the wars. I want you to go and siege down enemy territories, please. Leave Novgorod to me, I can do this. Recently I have noticed the pitiful state of my son, Sulev, who I've just been informed that the cause of his aches and fatigue is a case of the flu. Call the physician! And Rossini is being usurped. Where is this? Oh, down there. And the Christmas spirit has even invaded Crusader Kings. In fact, I have a feeling the Crusader Kings are where the Christmas tunes started. And if you've never actually stopped and listened to the lyrics of this song, it is amazing. Hang on, let me just go and pull that up. I posted it up on my Discord a couple of days ago. Because it's pretty amazing. You would think it's all Christmassy. It's not. Oh, good grief, they talk a lot. Let's just go look it up. Now I have to work out how on earth you spell Falalan. Where are you? There it is. It's not even called Falalan, it's called the Yuletide song. Alright, go and check that out. It's brilliant. Alright, Siege of Novgorod is done. That's just the initial capital. We still have the other two to go through. Novgorod itself is not at all built up. Okay. And I've just got some prisoners. Which hopefully I can ransom. Not worth a lot. But let's do it while you still have some money. Who's this? Right, I should actually customize this house, and I didn't actually customize Tokakid, which was probably a mistake. Ah, sod it, we'll stay as Kota Mahu. I need to nominate a successor. Well, how good is this guy? He's moderate at fighting and kind of awful at everything else. Who are the other options? He's better. Not very learned. He's also only 18, so he'd have a long reign. Just no. He's also 18. That's a fabulous beard for an 18-year-old. I think actually this guy is the most qualified. Decent stats. He's also a strategist already. Yeah, I definitely prefer him. So I'm going to nominate... Who is he? Durgan. Now, is there any downside to me nominating this guy? I don't think so. Except for the fact he's not my current heir. Oh god, I have no idea how these succession laws work. Titles of the ruler divided amongst the children, the primary heirs who are elected from amongst the members of the ruling dynasty. Among children and the primary heir who is elected from members of the ruling dynasty. The law defaults to primogeniture. You get no prestige penalty for having unlanded sons, and you can have a 30% larger domain. Destruction of titles under any form of Gavelkind are not allowed, and succession in kingdoms and empires. New kingdoms might be created for younger sons if possible. Junior heirs always get the choice to declare independence without a war. Women can inherit, but only if there are no eligible men. You can nominate who you like, it won't pass out of your control. I mean, that's still Van Bola, who is not the one I'm currently nominating. Durgan is. And that's because Durgan's not a son, he's a kinsman. So the title of Novgorod will go to him, but the title of... what's the next one? The High Chieftain of Novgorod will stay with me. That's how I'm reading this. Yeah. Wait until the end of the month and then see how that goes. I believe one of your vassals can be discouraged from associating with conspirational peoples. Yes, she has quite a large army and she's also quite strong. I'm going to obligate you. And we need a new spy master. Oh dear. Well, actually, we have a decent one, although he's possessed. He is just by far the best. He's 7 points ahead. No, I'm not going to risk that. We'll have to go with Ott, the commander of Novgorod, so I need to relieve him as a commander. And then make him a spy master. Keep me alive! Thank you for reminding me of the duties and obligations of the vassal. You are right, of course. Okay, good. I never knew how awesome that song was till now. Thank you, Paradoxy Kitty, watching the YouTuber linked. Yeah, it's really good. I should have mentioned you should probably play it with subtitles on so you can actually see what it all is. But yeah, it's amazing. It's all about raiding. It's a Christmas song about raiding. How much more Viking can you get than that? It's incredible. Wrath of the Old Gods. In response to the new era of crusades and jihads amongst the Abrahamic monotheists, the great Tengrikut Saberbane has informed all Tengri shamans of his plans for a magnificent Tengri pagan response. In fact, all pagan heads of any religion may now declare great holy wars. This could be the beginning of unprecedented heathen aggression. The old gods are mighty. Alright, so we have a 47% war score, which is going to be ticking up now that we control Novgorod. But I think that we will need to go and kill his armies. And hopefully not take too much attrition on the way. Let me just double check my factions. That faction's actually getting a little bit smaller. I think what I would like to do is build a practice range. Although I should really be building up places like Lagoda. That was a mistake. Oh, those are just raiders. That's their actual army. I mean, yes, I care about raiders, but I don't care about them that much. So, do I need to get Van Bola married? I do. You are technically my heir. So, will I be playing as Van Bola or not? I don't get this. Yes, Van Bola I will be playing as, but he's not the successor, he's the heir. God, this is complicated. Search all. My religion. Who are female, not married, who know how to punch things.